my lawyer, Mr. Rabinowitz.
You don't have to answer that.
I think that's why people stop going to confession is when they hit when they start to learn civics. The Fifth Amendment, the right against self-incrimination.
Plead
You're
the
like
fifth.
out of there.
You were asking about the group I worked with. I ran a mentoring program for a little while, and this was Opus Dei. I don't know if I could say the name.
Of course.
Oh, happy Opus Day.
Yeah, Opus the Penguin. Or?
Yeah, sounds like a fun group, but I remember going to confession for them, and the priest was like, I was behind the screen, so they can't see it, and he's like, I've been lustful, and he's like, oh, in what way? And I was like, being lustful, and he's like, yeah, but how? Like, give me specific. And I was like, I'm not gonna
tell me slowly.
right. I was like, and it was just like very uncomfortable, and it was like lasting a lot longer than I want, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not going to tell you like specifics of like what I've done and like, how I've been lustful. And I was just like, yeah, this confession's over.
But if your confession lasts 4 hours or more, consult a rabbi.
Yeah, 4 for that one.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back up to -1 on the. That was awesome.
St. Vincent de Paul owes us $1. How does this? This isn't
know.
charity, Carl.
Right,
Well, no,
yeah.
we're around 14.
I made $10 on this podcast.
The host giveth and the host taketh away.
So then, God, what was I going to say? Oh, so then. As far as confession goes, I had the opposite problem. It was like I would actually think that I had to tell everything, especially when I was a teenager. And I'm thinking like, oh yeah, well, so I was thinking about, and I started like spelling out what the fantasy was that led to my self-abuse, as they say. And the priest was like, hey, look, I got it, and that's what they said. They also said that here in LA, they're very laid back, I find, because literally I joke about this, but one time I went to St. Monica's, which is like the hipster parish of the diocese, and if there is such a
they
thing,
brew their own wine.
He's wearing skinny robes.
yeah, and I was in there, and I'm like talking about dating situation, and the priest was like, I got it. I was like, okay,
Please stop. Please stop.
yeah.
I like that George Carlin bit where he's like, he would always go to the Puerto Rican priest because he didn't like take it personally, so he'd be like, Dos Ave Marias para mí. That's like his penance.
So what, do you remember? Was there like a worst penance ever, or anything unusual ever, or where you were like, oh, really? I got to go through that much?
I got to do that much. No, I never had. I never even remembered. It was always just like do like a decade of the rosary
Yeah.
or something like that. Like, really, that's it? I'll see you next month.
I like how Dennis Miller, back when he was funny, he was
Whoa,
like,
shots fired.
wow.
Dennis
Carl.
Miller.
oh, come on, everybody knows he's blown it for like 20 years. But anyway, the Off-White album, first comedy album I ever bought, aside from like a Cosby album, which is also kind of weird to bring up now. But he had this awesome bit about confessions and the whole chart of like how do they come up with these things anyway. The basic joke was something like, I went down on a rhino, Father. Oh, that'll be 3 Hail Marys, But yeah,
I had a priest give me permission to beat some kid up at school once.
oh really?
Yeah, I felt like I needed his blessing, I guess. I don't know, because this kid was a real prick, and we really had it coming. It didn't come to pass, because I'm more of a pussy than he is a prick, I guess, but like, yeah, the priest
Language.
signed off on... Oh,
No,
sorry.
kidding. That's all right. Anyway, yes.
Wham, wham.
Okay.
One Hail Mary.
Go ahead.
No, that's basically it. I just thought it was cool that he signed off on it. He's like, yeah, you've got, like, I think God's cool with you punching that guy in the face. He's a real jerk.
Eye for an eye.
I had a boss back when I lived in Missouri who told me he would, just to kind of have a clean record, he wouldn't confess everything that he did, but the last sin he confessed, his confession would always end, and I lied.
There you go.
That's
He felt that covered like his omissions in the confession and
Right.
the old lie clause.
everything else.
Yeah, or if I didn't want to say, are you saying that you would say that if somebody said that if they left out something that they would lie, or?
Well, he
Sorry, I
just
missed
he
it for a
would
second.
he
I'll
wouldn't
turn it
confess everything he did.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, and I would do that too. Yeah,
and so
Yeah.
at the end, it was, and I lied.
So then, you know, I think that would be like one of the weirder things. Like, I wonder how they, you know, like I've heard the priests, because I'm friends with a couple of priests, like actually hang out friends, you know, and they say they go through like psychological training because you hear some dark stuff in there,
Yeah.
man. I mean, it's like,
I bet.
wow, you know, and imagine, you know, that it's bad enough what people like myself, I go to a therapist, like what we talk about to people that are officially trained and you're face to face, but imagine, I mean, when you're like in the dark having and it's under cover of total secrecy, it's just amazing. Like, you know, and I'm like, well, tell me about it. And he's like, I can't. Hello.
Obviously
you
not.
know? Yeah. But anyway.
They should write a screenplay.
Ooh, yeah. I know, like, there hasn't been like 20 of them with the, you know, I killed a man or whatever, yeah. So then what about, like, you went to, so Catholic college, was that anything unique about that? I didn't go through Catholic college.
No.
What was it? Saint Norbert.
Saint Norbert.
What was this? What was the mascot?
The Green Knights.
The Norb.
The Norb.
The Green
It's
Knights.
like the Noid.
Yes, the Noid.
Avoid the Norb.
Yeah. No, we didn't. Yeah. No, there's nothing really very Catholic about it, I would say. Like, we drank a lot. There was a lot of drinking. But no, there wasn't like, there wasn't, I mean, there was church obviously on campus, but really nothing. Our advisor was a priest for our, like the group I was in, our social group, but he would drink with us and yeah,
You have to do like a keg stand instead of like a little sip of wine.
right. Yeah, it was a Catholic school in Wisconsin, so yeah, it was just a lot of boozing.
A lot of beer.
Oh, I bet there was.
Yeah.
What part of Wisconsin? What town?
It was near Green Bay.
Oh, really?
Pier, Wisconsin, yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so here's a tale of sin.
You've got something about Wisconsin?
Yeah. Actually, I went on the road. Do you know Tim Joyce, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, very controversial presence in my life, but the man I do give credit to getting me into comedy more than anybody, and taught me a lot and about, you know, joke telling and whatever. So much props to Tim. We're off and on friends, unfortunately. But anyway, so the thing is, he one time he was up in Green Bay for like Easter week, and Jake Johansson was performing at the Funny Bone, and I grew up like adoring Jake Johansson's like material. I thought he was a genius, and so he's like, "Hey, want to come up? You can like, you know, you can be the MC and I'll feature." And then, you know, and instead of him just opening for Jake, period, you know, and so we get up there, and it's like Good Friday, and Tim after the show, he's like, "Hey, you know, the assistant manager wants to go to a strip club," and I was like, "Really?" And I was such an uptight dweeb that I had never been to a strip club. And this is like when I'm 2000. I was like 29 years old. Never been to a strip club in my life. And I'm like, okay, today's the day. And so we actually went to this place, and you won't believe the name of this place. Bean Snappers.
Bean Snappers.
You know it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
What a name.
I know, right? And so
What does that allude to?
I'm afraid to find out.
Snapping your bean.
I guess maybe I'm overthinking it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. If I were to describe it, it would be most un-Catholic of a show.
Well, yeah, and also because the Bass Pro Shops already had the trademark on the little man in a boat shop.
Yeah, so exactly. That's awesome.
So you, Jake
Awful.
Johansson, and
yeah. So
Tim Joyce?
well, Jake actually declined to go. I was surprised.
Oh, wow.
He's actually a pretty devout Buddhist, and I don't know if that's a real proscription that they can't go, but out of like profound respect for women in the universe, he was like, no, I really don't do that anymore. And so we're like, okay. Although we drove him crazy the next day, we drove around Door County, and me and Tim fought so much that Jake was like, pull over, and he made us get out of the car. And Tim was the one driving. It was amazing. And but anyway, so but Tim and I went, and it was one of those places where it was full nudity, so they couldn't sell liquor. So I'm just like, oh, so I gotta drink soda, and then Tim's like, here's some ones. Just get up there, man. Let me try it. And I was like, try what? And to me, you know, obviously throwing money at them or whatever, but I just thought it was so unsexy. I assume you guys have been to strip clubs, or yeah. So it was like. Heard of them. But it was like, I told him it was like an assembly line or something of sex or nudity, you know, because it would just be like, and here's Rachel, and then she comes sliding down a pole. I don't know, a Destiny or whatever.
Sexy stripper name.
Yeah, right. I don't know.
Melissa.
Here's destiny, and there'd be these giant corn-fed women with like thick thighs, like coming to slide down the pole, looking like they're going to break it
On Good Friday, no
There's
less.
the bean snapping, and so the pole snapping is more like it.
Ouch.
And so,
Whoa.
Carl.
Shots fired.
What?
I'm gonna
First Dennis
Yeah,
Leary,
thank you.
now Kathy, the Wisconsin
Dennis Miller.
stripper.
Yeah. Well, anyway, no, but I mean, they were just
Miller.
women that were
They're trying to figure
imposing.
out their lives. Kyle.
Yeah, I
God
know,
bless
right?
him. And Good Friday, no less.
Yeah, and,
I
hey,
would,
look, at least
I
I
would
wasn't
think
throwing
Buddhists
quarters at
would
them.
love strip clubs only because, like, if you ever look into a stripper's dead eyes, there is no better example of detachment, which is such a big principle of Buddhism.
That's a good point.
Leave it to
For this, I got a religious studies minor.
really
He sat,
I was actually 3 credits away. but
awesome.
he sat in the back.
It's like Brad Pitt was like one credit away from an architecture degree. Who quits with one class left?
I think Jake
But he's
Johansson.
done okay though.
Jake Johansson did that too. He was like very close to getting his engineering degree, and he left school before
really?
he finished. Yeah, I've
that-
heard a lot of
wow.
comics,
Huh.
or a lot of like very famous people have like stopped short of like.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know how they.
Yeah. But I think they've done all right. You know, they've done a little better than they would have as architects or engineers anyway. You know, 'cause
Right.
But
Not financially, obviously.
Oh yeah, but anyways, yeah. So we were in the Bean Strippers, and I'm just like,
But there's more to the story?
well, I mean, just I was so disillusioned, and Tim was like, "No, Carl, don't look at it like it's a bad thing." He goes, "I give you credit. You discovered the reality like on their first try." And so he was like, "It really is an assembly line. It really is."
Did
that
you
degrading."
confess it?
Probably, yeah. Good Friday, heck yeah.
Yeah. Well, they didn't have like a cross up there instead of the pole, did they?
I can't comment. No, but I mean I can't even fathom. Okay, so wow. Okay, next you take the next one while I cleanse my mind from that sacrilege imagery.
Let's see. What about all this stuff, like all like the sort of more mystical side of Catholicism, like the prophecy and like miracles? Have you ever encountered any kind of like supernatural miracle-esque thing in
that's a good
regards to
question.
religion?
Oh boy, not killing nobody. I ain't killed nobody yet.
I don't think that quite qualifies.
I haven't really encountered any of the miracle stuff. Saw Jesus on a tortilla once.
That counts. We're going to count that.
No, I got nothing.
How long did it take you to forgive the kid in Mexico that hit you with the plank of wood?
Not long. He's a pretty funny kid.
Okay. It was a bit?
Yeah. It was sort of a bit. I mean, he's on drugs. He was pretty high, but
Aw.
he used to do like little prop comedy. He used to take like he later on he did like. I mean, I can't say, but he put it out near his crotch, and then he'd be like, "I need a
What?
pinche bolsa de pan bimbo para un condón. I need
What?
I need like a bread bag for a condom."
Oh.
And I was like, "That's
real?
pretty funny."
Nice.
Yeah,
Oh, oh,
I got a kick out of the guy.
I was like, man, that's poverty there. I'm sorry.
That guy turned out to be Enrique Iglesias. Now you know the rest of the story.
Oh my god! Yeah, that's Paul. What was his name? Paul Harvey. Yeah. Yeah. So then, I guess were you and Stephanie married in the church or no?
Oh no.
No?
We just got a.
Wow. Your dad put up with that?
Oh yeah, they were just happy I got married. I was 44 when I got married,
Wow.
so they were just happy I got married finally.
Yeah.
No, they didn't care. I mean, I've talked to my mom. My mom passed a couple of years ago, but
sorry.
I sort of told her about that I was sort of like losing. And even when she was going, she took a while for her to pass, and even she was like, "I don't know what happens when you die." I was like, "Wait a minute, you've been
whoa.
pushing this on me for my entire life, and now you're like backing off your claim.
Hey.
Like, I don't know what
It
happens."
was worth a shot.
Yeah,
Hedging her bets.
yeah.
Right?
But so yeah, I don't know. So she was fine with it. She didn't. Yeah, we just did. A friend of ours married us, and it was nice. To me, it felt more sincere because it felt like we did it. Like we did our own vows. We did our own sort of said our own things, and to me, it like was more heartfelt than just doing something where you're just repeating what's in a book or whatever.
Obligatorily.
Yeah,
Did you step on a glass?
accidentally.
It wasn't part of the ritual.
Not as part of the ceremony. But yeah, we didn't really. It was just we did
nice.
plan the whole wedding ourselves. So
Can I ask what have you encountered like a church or Catholic school with like a really downer name, like Our
Oh,
Lady
yeah.
of Perpetual Sorrow kind of thing?
Yeah.
that's funny.
We had Our Lady of Sorrows. We used to play them in basketball.
Why do you want to go hear the good word at a place like that?
Right. Mother of Perpetual Help.
Our Lady of Crushing Devastation.
Right. Our Lady